interesting treatment. A little bit different design of balcony, particularly compared to the one next door, both the greater and the lesser version. Here's the look of a building that's being preserved and protected while the one next to it has been torn away from it. And it looks like a pretty building as I approach, I think, the City Hall. What I love about these old cities is the fascinating, interesting old stuff you run across quite by serendipitous happen chance. Notice the little sculpture up on this building to the right. A cute little affectation. But I was particularly caught up by this building here. The one that's just kind of orphaned in between the other two. The scroll work on that eave. The balcony that might have been a very pretty place to sit out and watch the world go by. And then these old doors, or windows rather, I guess. It doesn't look like this building that I thought had another building next to it ever did. There's supports there to hold the building together. Don't know what these rings are up here. But they may have been rings that had cables going to something for support. I'm just intrigued by what a pretty design this is to wrap this little piece of corner. I'm going to guess that this building is City Hall. It has that look. And this is the church that is next to it on the map. And we'll find out what the name is in a moment. I'm guessing that over there is the Trindade metro station somewhere. And this is Praça de Trindade, hint, hint. And we're looking at Igreja da Trindade, in Spanish, Iglesia da Trindade, no doubt. Church built during the 19th century, so it's not that old. Neoclassical work, blah, blah, blah. So where we are is City Hall. We've been to the ones I've just checked off. We were over at the market on the right. I'm going to turn back down to Praça Librador, I think that probably is, and take a closer look at São Bento Station, and then hopefully get a chance to climb up Clarigos Tower, which is right next to my hostel. That huge building I was looking at, wondering what it was, is the City Hall. The blonde Blase building that I looked at near that church was not. Just a block away from that church in the City Hall, where we are at the other end of Praça Librador that we saw earlier this morning, this huge building. Not even sure what it is. This is what it tells us. I'd have to know what Câmara Municipal means. A statue of Teorira Goretti, 1799-1854. So it'd be interesting to see what her history was. Slightly more interesting, and then as we get down there further, much more interesting. So we'll go up there closer to it. And actually I'll just walk down and get even closer. But you can see a little bit more interesting. There's a church in the distance on the right, and much farther in the distance on the left. And then these buildings here. This is a style that you saw, or that I've seen in many capitals of cities. This is a pretty bandstand covering, it looks like, but it's not even a full covering, so I'm not sure whether it's just a dance sculpture, since there's apparently a dance connection. Just wonder what that is and whether you can go up into it or not. This is the Hotel Aliados, which gets its name from the street I've been walking down. Just wanted to get a closer look at this building's corner clock tower. Extravagant, to say the least. Is that Baroque? And no less so the adjoining building with its monument sculpture. Here, the Imperial McDonald's. The story related to this, but I'm too lazy to pull out my guidebook and see what it is, whether some of this was original for another kind of a purpose, or whether it was designed to look this way. Here's a Mac Cafe, or Mec Cafe that I've seen in different cities. McGrath. I don't know whether these are old or not, but I think it's reflecting the coffee culture here, the people, elegant people enjoying coffee. And here the labor that it takes to get it. The slaves hauling it aboard ship, hauling it on their back. Here people harvesting the coffee bean.